Hi, this is Chris Montoya and I sell houses, and this is John Meyer at Mountain Wookie, and he sells all kinds of stuff here in Canyon City. John, how you doing today?
I'm doing really well, Chris.
Awesome. Hey, so let's get right into it. So I know you have a lot of stuff in here. Tell me some of the favorite things that you sell here.
Well, when you call yourself the coolest place in the universe, you have to be diversified. You have to represent pretty much everything that's on the planet Earth. So we go from everything from knives of all exotic backgrounds and we'd also do clothing. We do clothing that we produce ourselves. We do a lot of band related stuff because we're really into music. We're into outdoor culture, and generally we just like to do fun stuff. You know,
Speaking of fun stuff, I'll tell you what's most attractive. Your building. Tell me, how'd you come up with that? Your painting motif.
You know, it was a unique approach to something that we thought would be non-offensive to most everybody. So the original artist is Gama Acosta. He's a famous graffiti artist out of Denver. The other musicians that are on there were added later by Brian Cologne, and he did the 74 Volkswagen Space Bus.
Yeah, which is sweet.
And so we've come a long ways. We're going to, do some other additional work in the future, so be looking forward to that. And, generally, it's just our work in progress.
Yeah. So you're not from Canyon City, correct?
No, I'm
How
not.
did you pick Canyon City to locate your store?
Well, we have another store in Woodland Park, and that was the first one. And I was kind of prospecting for a second store. I'd been in the Denver metro prior, and I was really disenfranchised with the city. And I've lived in several cities in my life, and just in this point of my existence, I needed to escape the city. And Canyon City offers the best recreation, the most mellow traffic you can maybe find in the state.
Yeah.
And it's just somewhere that I foresaw blooming into a much more awesome place as time progresses.
Yeah, and I feel like we really are on that track. I notice we're attracting a lot of small businesses and a lot of business diversification. I would say that your business is really unique in our area because it offers something very different from what most people think of when they think of Canyon City, but you fit right in somehow. And I mean, it's a great mesh. And you're right about our outdoor activities really matching with our nature and how people are really accepting in our community.
Right. Well, traditionally this town has kind of been set up as, a place where people who worked in the DOC had a say in the community, and it's kind of been a retiree destination just because property taxes were low and
weather's great.
Weather's perfect. And cost of living was pretty good for a fixed income crowd. Right now, our state in general is under such population growth that's not sustainable, and now everybody's kind of got to look to the future of, we're going to be encroached on from Colorado Springs, Pueblo, and all the places that people want to escape.
Yeah.
And this is a destination that, right now we're seeing our weekend traffic from people just wanting to recreate and enjoy our downtown, which is just a gem in the state. You've got emerging restaurants and people who've gone out on a leap. You've got probably 6 or 8 restaurants downtown that have really gone out on, in a downtown that when I moved here was fairly stagnant.
I would agree.
Yeah, and that was 2014. Now we're sitting in 2021. We've got, Bikes and Brews has a great backyard. You've got the brewery. It's just got a nice patio. Nirvana is my Those guys are
That's
amazing.
my jam, man.
Yeah, if you people like Indian food, that's where you need to go.
That's a great place. You know, that's the thing. Our community is starting to offer so much more, and that's part of why I kind of picked doing a series about how great our community is. Because to be fair, man, we have so much to offer that most people don't even really know about outside of our tight-knit community.
I mean, everybody knows about Burger World. It's famous.
Big Burger World's famous. Milkshakes there are amazing.
Yep. The Owl also is kind of in the same boat of you know, and our nightlife is improving vastly.
For sure.
You know, because that's what. You know, when we have tourists and stuff, they want to go out, you know, not necessarily stay out till 2 o'clock in the morning, but they want to go out, have a good lunch, dinner, and then they want to experience something a little different. And now we've got a little bar scene that's kind of emerging that's, you know, every day.
Moe's, there's a few.
Moe's is really great. Brothers is, you know, kind of, you know, redecorating, classing up. Everybody's just kind of bringing up the morale and uniqueness of our town.
Yeah.
Because if you go out in Denver, you're paying $20 to park. You're gonna have to fight crowds. You're gonna,
and there's so many different sorts of people. And Canyon City's such a friendly, easygoing community too.
Yeah. And it's becoming more and more accepting. That's what's so great, is that it started out kind of slow and
we're rocking out.
Can't help it.
It happens this way.
UB40.
So, hey, I'm going to ask you a couple more questions. What's the one thing people wouldn't guess you have in your store that you have?
Most people wouldn't know that we have probably the best variety of knives, from everything from Bark River and Benchmades and Spyderco's. No one expects that. I have people from all over the country who walk in and they, you know, sit with their jaw dropped and say, I had no idea that you guys, I mean, this is probably the best knife selection I've ever seen in one spot.
Yeah.
And, you know, we have, and then they can turn around in the same spot and look, and we have the largest selection of grassroots hats in the world, which they only make 420 of each hat. So the uniqueness of each one of these is incredible. But if you go to Red Rocks, you know, to your average concert, about 25 to 30% of the people attending are going to be wearing one of these hats.
So what's the one thing outside of business and outside of industry that you see Canyon City that you really like is going on in our community?
I like the city's involvement with adding new signage on the edges of town with the nice big, you know, welcome to Canyon City signs. You know, that alone is, it just feels more inviting now.
Yeah.
You know, when you used to come into Canyon City, you passed 4 Mile and you saw a huge prison complex.
Yeah.
Now, as soon as you pass by that, you know, I have a billboard right next to the sign on the east side of town, but you see, you know, it basically screams, we've got culture now. We're not just this little drive-through town that you might have thought we were in the past.
Yeah.
You really need to get off of 50 and explore.
That was a unique answer. I haven't heard that one, and I hadn't even thought about it until you mentioned it. And that makes a lot of sense. I never thought about just our signage coming in and how professional it looks and how inviting it looks now, as opposed to what it used to look like. And you're right, the city's involvement's been fantastic with that.
Yeah, same thing with Main Street. You put in a bunch of new street lights, and the sidewalks, the planters have nice flowers in them. They've done a really great job making the town look like something that you want to get out of the car, walk around, you know, maybe spend a whole day here, you know. I mean, even if you're just driving to Salida, maybe spend 2 hours in Canyon. Yeah,
for sure. So we're actually at the part of the interview where you get to ask me one question.
All right, Chris. Well, you're in real estate.
Getting ready to be stumped here, I can tell.
Yep. So what do you foresee being the maximum that the county and city planners allow this city to grow?
So I don't think I think it has less to do with the city planners' growth, and I think it has more to do with how people develop land. Yeah. Because really what we don't have a lot of lots left. You know, there was a time when Dawson Ranch, you could have walked up to Dawson Ranch and bought hundreds of lots. There's only a few available now. You know, 4 Mile is getting built out. You know, we need another set of a subdivision to be developed so we can start building more houses, because we just don't have lots of vacant lots and lots of space out there. We do, you know, internally, I see that we have a lot of hayfields here or there that could be developed, and I think will be in the future. But I don't think it's the city that's holding us back, really. I think really we're we set in a mountain cove, right? We kind of stuck in this little mountain tight area.
Yep.
And now it's developing land around it or inside of it, because I think the smaller subdivisions, not the 400 house subdivisions, but maybe 50 houses in this area and 25 here. I think that's where we're going to start seeing some of our growth. And honestly, you probably are well aware of this too. Florence is doing a spectacular job with their downtown. So I think, and then the synergy between Canyon City and Florence, I really feel like Canyon City's really caught up with that energy that Florence carried. So the growth in Florence, the growth in Canyon City, and new subdivisions coming in, I think will dictate our growth.
No, I agree with you on those aspects, and I would like to, a lot of people might frown on this, but I'd like to see a little bit more of the affordable housing to bring in a lot of the, the people who I feel like make communities thrive maybe the most are your fairly independent, like 25 to 40-year-old people that either have no children or are single. And if you can fill them up, then that also increases the amount of people who usually spend time in your downtowns and add a vibrancy to the culture.
Yeah.
And not that I'm against any kind of family housing situations, but those people aren't coming in to buy a 4-bedroom house in Dawson traditionally. They might make upper 5 or 6-figure salaries, and they like to go sit on their laptop doing their work and drinking a margarita on a patio. Yeah,
you're right. And one of the things me and my friends talk about, because I'm a real estate agent, we talk about real estate.
Yeah.
So some of the things we talk about is new home technologies, and when they start coming into the market, and they're starting to come into the market, not in our market specifically, and also that missing piece of the 2-1. We're missing a 2-bedroom, 1-bath build because it's so much more expensive to build a smaller footprint. We need to find a way to build a smaller footprint that can be that transitional housing from maybe a retiree or a first-time family or a single guy buying a house. He gets to live in this house and then he gets to upgrade it and move forward into the community. And you're right, we're really missing, or we're beginning to miss, a small piece of that affordability of being the first-time home buyer, that first-time entry program. And I really hope somebody fills that void. We do have some good programs, Habitat for Humanity is helping build some houses, but you're right. There's a one piece missing, and once again, keen eye, brother.
Well, even my employees, are faced with the dilemma of finding housing in this area. You really have to be on your P's and Q's and say, all right, day one, this is listed. I better get on it now.
For sure. And I'm one of the guys that'd be happy to help you out.
Yep.
So, John, I tell you what, man, it's been a great pleasure chatting with you.
Yes, sir.
I really appreciate it.
Yep, I like your perspectives.
Thanks, man. Thanks, guys.
Appreciate you.
Dude, you